It is incredibly brave to take this stance after you've made $300-400 million not being woke, right? Loving Donald Trump, exploiting the mentally ill, wearing blackface. Look at the crop of woke comments, whether it's Stern or Jimmy Kimmel, his BFF, Sarah Silverman, Joy Behar, Michael Ian Black. What do they all have in common? They wore blackface. And then they went woke. It's not a chicken or egg thing there. You know what order it came. So I call this BFR. It's blackface reparations. There's nothing in Stern's previous career that could withstand this modern witch hunt that he now embraces. So this is a form of restitution. Maybe he says, if I'm woke too, the crocodile will eat me last. But they always do eat. But I get it. He flipped from populist to elitist because now he's with elitists.
That the king of the most misogynistic humor ever now turns into a breathless over a progressive, hopelessly shallow candidate. But maybe that's the explanation. This is Stern's self-imposed penance for subjugating women to demoralizing stunts, capitalizing on desperate females thirsting for attention, even if it's from an oily paddle striking their...
Howard Stern once stood as a towering force in radio, wild, fearless, and louder than anyone in the room. But when Greg Gutfeld took a bold verbal shot at him on national television, Stern didn't fire back. He didn't joke, push, growl, or even smirk. He just went still. The silence that followed wasn't calm. It was crushing that that moment. Gutfeld didn't just challenge Stern's legacy. He cracked it open with a single smug grin, leaving the former king of shock radio looking unexpectedly exposed. This wasn't a routine TV exchange. It felt like a cultural jolt. The man who once tore into phoniness now appeared strangely polished and guarded himself. Howard Stern sat there as Gutfeld stared him down, daring him to speak. But Stern didn't move. He just watched the moment unfold, watched the roar that defined him fade, while millions saw the once untouchable rebel look suddenly unsure of his own legend.
You should hear what keeps him up at night.
This is what keeps me up at night. I don't understand how my fellow Americans, I don't even understand how this election is close. And yes, I'm voting for you, but I would also vote for that wall over there.
Well, he's half right. We do need a wall. To keep out gang members, fentanyl dealers, human traffickers, and Anna Navarro. What's funny, though, is that Stern actually thought that was a compliment. Stern has become such a wussified sycophant, he doesn't realize that telling Kamala that he'd vote for a wall is telling her that he knows she's as dumb as one.
Howard Stern didn't just freeze. He crumbled in real time. Quiet, stunned, and suddenly small. The crowd didn't know whether to laugh or feel sympathy. It didn't feel real. This was the man who built his career tearing down the elite, and now he was the elite. Greg Gutfeld exposed that shift with a single blow. Stern, once the wild voice of rebellion, now sits with celebrities sipping champagne, acting like the high priest of fame. The hypocrisy was hard to watch. Fans weren't just disappointed, they felt betrayed. The man who mocked red carpet culture was now strolling down it, complaining about how exhausting stardom had become, as if mingling with movie stars were some noble hardship. Gutfeld didn't shout. He delivered the truth like a blade. Walking from your wine cellar to your tennis court isn't suffering. And the crowd erupted. That wasn't laughter. It was a thunderclap. He wasn't ranting. He was revealing. He held up a mirror Stern has avoided for years. The old Stern would have erupted with fury. This one just sat there, a prop on someone else's stage. No rage, no defense, just the ghost of the rebel he used to be. Gutfeld didn't merely speak. He seized the entire moment. And when it finally landed, Stern seemed unaware he was already buried beneath the weight of his own silence.
That's how Stern can call snacking with celebs at a fancy restaurant exhausting. Exhausting. Like he finished the overnight shift in a coal mine. Or hearing Kat talk about her pets.
Fair.
But I get it, life is tough, especially when you've been cut off from the world for 2 years in a $20 million beach house. I mean,
You have no idea how tiring it is walking all the way from the wine cellar to the tennis court and back.
Howard Stern once ruled chaos like a king. He didn't just survive controversy, he thrived in it, smashing through boundaries with fire in his voice. But now he looked like a man desperate for acceptance from the very Hollywood elite he used to tear apart. The change wasn't just strange, it was heartbreaking. The old Stern would have annihilated this new version of himself. He would have mocked the polished, soft-spoken figure he's become, sitting politely, smiling for cameras, behaving like a background extra at a celebrity brunch instead of the fearless disruptor who once shook the entire system. That fire in him? Gone. Instead of tearing into power with raw truth, he now whispers approval from his cushioned seat among the famous. The rebel traded his war boots for velvet slippers at new, Greg Gutfeld noticed. So did the crowd. This wasn't the misfit warrior they remembered. It was an insider dressed up as one. And the saddest part? Stern didn't even realize it. He sat through the verbal beatdown like a lion without claws, tamed, slow, and lost. Gutfeld wasn't swinging wildly. He was exposing a tragic fall from power. Stern, once the destroyer of fake personas, had become the very image he used to smash with joy. No fire left, no fight. Just a legend quietly drifting into the shadows. And Gutfeld? He didn't just call him out. He replaced him. The torch wasn't passed. It was abandoned, left on the ground by Stern as he walked away.
We'll say this, Dagan. I thank God for Howard Stern because he does make me feel normal by comparison. Because I'm like the Fox recluse. I don't do anything. I don't go anywhere. But he makes me look like, Pete Davidson on a...
Yeah, he's a germaphobe. Like, his wife rescues cats. That's her job, apparently, her thing. But you can get toxoplasmosis.
That's true.
Cryptosporidiosis.
AIDS.
And
no, you can't.
No,
but
you can't get. But you can get.
I mean, what are the chances I get that again?
Like a lot of diarrhea.
You could feel it in the room. This wasn't just another TV moment. It was a live dethroning. While Howard Stern sat there basking in old headlines and clinging to praise from celebrities, Greg Gutfeld was busy building an empire of his own. Raw, real, relentless. Stern didn't lose the throne in a fight. He walked away from it. And Gutfeld? He didn't hesitate for a second. He stormed in and claimed it like it had always belonged to him. This wasn't television. It was history unfolding in real time. No dramatic music, no special effects. Just unfiltered truth slicing through the studio lights. Most moments fade by morning, but this one burned into culture like a permanent scar. It wasn't just Gutfeld mocking Stern. It was one generation swallowing the last, right there on camera, and Stern's face said everything. He knew what was happening. You didn't need a close-up to see the fear dripping off him like sweat under those unforgiving lights. The same man who once ruled the mic now looked like he wanted to hide beneath it. The irony was savage. The destroyer of fake personas had become the living embodiment of what he used to expose. Gutfeld didn't need to shout or exaggerate. He simply held up the truth like a mirror and let the audience stare. And what they saw crushed them. The rebel wasn't defeated, he was gone. Willingly gone. Gutfeld didn't attack with rage. He dismantled with facts. And once the world saw it, they couldn't unsee it. The moment detonated online, spreading like wildfire, transforming a shocking interview into a national wake-up call.
Radio show, Howard Stern defended wokeism, saying it's a compliment when someone calls him woke. Listen.
If woke means I can't get behind Trump, which is what I think it means, or that I support people who want to be transgender, or I'm for the vaccine, well, dude.
Stern got even more pathetic, wondering how she doesn't nap.
When you said you don't nap, I get it, because like what you've taken on is extraordinarily difficult. And I mean, do you feel the pressure of the moment in the sense that, like when I met you out in the hall, I said, I'm really nervous because I want this to go well for you. I want it to go well for the country.
Greg Gutfeld didn't need to raise his voice. His words cut sharper than any scream ever could. The moment they hit the air, the internet exploded. People didn't just laugh. They nodded because deep down, they already knew it was true. This wasn't some wild accusation. It was a long-buried truth finally dragged into the light. Howard Stern's slow, painful transformation had been happening for years. But Gutfeld ripped the mask off in a single strike. And it didn't come from a hater. It came from another rebel. Someone who built his own empire by being raw, blunt, and unapologetic. The very fire Stern once carried like a weapon. Fans had whispered it for ages. He's not the same. But now the whisper was dead. The truth was screaming across every screen. Even Stern's most loyal supporters couldn't defend what they saw. It was too clear, too undeniable. Gutfeld didn't just bruise Stern's ego. He cracked the foundation of his entire legacy wide open. This wasn't politics. It was truth versus performance. And when the dust settled, Gutfeld stood firm, while Stern sat stiffly in a tailored suit that no longer matched the rebel he once was. The man who used to shock the world now looked terrified of his own shadow. As the clip surged to millions of views, the public made their choice. Stern's silence wasn't maturity, it was surrender. His defenders scrambled to spin it, claiming he had grown or evolved, but no one bought it. People know the difference between growth and retreat. And what they saw wasn't evolution, it was a legend going mute. Stern didn't rise to the moment. He melted away from it.
Stern being holed up in his house that long, it explains a lot of things, like how you forget how other people live, especially in hard times like a pandemic. For the longest time, 2 years in fact, the same time Stern's been AWOL, I wondered where he went. Not physically, but mentally. I bet you did too. Remember his screeds about COVID? They were epic and angry, and not to mention wrong.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated. F them, f their freedom. I want my...
What made it even worse? Howard Stern's complete silence after the storm. It was eerie and deafening. No fiery comeback on his radio show. No clever dig the next day. Not even a half-hearted joke to soften the blow. The same man who once torched presidents and humiliated celebrities now sat quietly as his empire slowly crumbled before our eyes. And that silence, that haunting quiet, was the real hit. Greg Gutfeld didn't shout, didn't rage. He simply spoke the truth, and it cut deeper than any scream ever could. One pointed observation shattered Stern's carefully curated image, and the legend didn't even try to defend himself. The man who once feared no one now seemed afraid to utter a single word. This wasn't growth, it was disappearance. While Stern faded into polite nothingness, Gutfeld stepped forward, claiming the spotlight and never letting go. Every pause, every awkward chuckle from Stern only amplified Gutfeld's power, until the throne had quietly changed hands. By week's end, the conversation wasn't about Stern's legacy. It was about his downfall. Headlines blared. Stern has gone soft. Gutfeld grabs the crown. It wasn't just news. It felt like a digital funeral for everything Stern once stood for. Gutfeld wasn't cruel. He was surgical. He didn't erase Stern's past. He honored it, then revealed just how far he'd strayed. The contrast was devastating. People remembered the rebel who mocked award shows and grilled politicians. Now Stern was at fundraisers, flattering the same elites he used to destroy. Gutfeld kept piling on, surfacing clip after clip that confirmed the truth. Stern had gone from fearless to fearful. Interviews lost their edge, conversations became safe and flattering, and the wide, empty smiles replaced his fire. He wasn't challenging the system anymore. He was entertaining it. One of the worst moments came when Stern attempted political commentary but clumsily compared Kamala Harris to a wall, oblivious to the absurdity. It wasn't daring, it was embarrassing. Gutfeld didn't need to twist the knife. Stern was doing it himself. The man who once exposed phonies had become one, hiding behind velvet ropes, handlers, and champagne toasts instead of honesty.
Watch them on Saturday Night Live with the where they have Maya Rudolph playing you. Mm-hmm. I hate it. I don't want you being made fun of.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
There's too much at stake. I believe the entire future of this country right now. I mean, as America, land of the free, home of the brave, I think it's literally on the line.
So a guy who's supposed to be funny for a living now claims her candidacy is too important to joke about. This is a guy who once joked right after the Columbine massacre that the killers should have raped the students before killing them. Not that I like that, Stern, but this pendulum swing from saying the most tasteless thing in the universe to putting your balls in a Tic Tac container. You gotta wonder what's going on here. It's striking that the king of the most misogynistic humor ever now turns into a breathless over a progressive, hopelessly.
The truth didn't need flashy lights or dramatic music. It only needed someone bold enough to speak it aloud. And Greg Gutfeld did, without hesitation. He stepped onto that set with calm precision and peeled back the curtain on everything Howard Stern had become. Line by line, he held up a mirror, and the reflection stunned the world. The audience didn't need convincing. They had seen the shift for years. But this time, they witnessed it crumble in real time, in high definition, unedited. The saddest part? Stern truly believed this newer version of himself was progress. He thought soft voices and polite chatter equaled maturity. What he didn't see was that he had traded everything that once made him powerful. This wasn't growth. It was surrender, dressed in civility. Gutfeld didn't yell. He presented proof like courtroom evidence, laying out two versions of Stern side by side. The fierce, wild voice of the past and the clean, calculated persona of today. And the audience's reaction, it wasn't laughter. It was shock. It was grief. The guy who once joked about Collini now flinches at satire. Gutfeld said sharply. That one sentence landed like a hammer in a silent church. Stern didn't respond. Not a word. That silence wasn't strength. It was collapse in real time. He didn't rise to the moment. He sank into it. Every edge had been sanded down. Every risk buried beneath layers of PR polish. Fans hadn't tuned in for perfection. They had tuned in for chaos, honesty, and raw risk. And when Stern stepped back, Gutfeld stepped in. Louder, raw, completely unfiltered. This wasn't merely a clash of generations. It was a wake-up call. In that moment, only one man still had the guts to strike. One remained bold and brave. The other faded into the background, like the closing credits of his own story.
Happy Friday, America! Oh man, tonight is a special night. It's Feminine Friday, where all the panelists are women. Tonight we have Kennedy. Yeah! David McDowell. Pat Tim. And Janine Garofalo. All right. A long way for a meat joke. Okay, I hope you had a good week. I did, and no thanks to Howard Stern. True, the New York Post reported that Stern hit a chic restaurant in NYC with a crew of A-listers, including Jimmy Kimmel, Jennifer Aniston, Jon Hamm, Justin Theroux, Jason Bateman. I was not invited.
Greg Gutfeld still had the fire. Howard Stern had given his away, piece by piece, trading rebellion for applause from people who never truly cared. When Stern complained about feeling exhausted after dinner with celebrities, the public didn't sympathize. They cringed. Exhausted from what? From sipping wine under chandeliers? From faking edge while obsessing over gala invites and red carpet smiles? Even his most devoted fans couldn't pretend anymore. The lion of radio had become a purring house cat. The man who once shook the world with his voice now whispered about being tired from strolling across his mansion. This wasn't satire, it was sad. Gutfeld didn't need to yell. A few sharp truths were enough to shatter the illusion like glass. Because rebellion isn't about fame, it's about fearlessness. You can't claim to speak for the people while tiptoeing through Beverly Hills, afraid of upsetting dinner guests. Stern's silence afterward wasn't powerful, it was hollow. No spark, no bite, not even a flicker of the storm he used to be. What the audience saw was the quiet fade of a man who once tore down giants, now flinching at his own reflection. He didn't just lose the crown, he handed it over willingly and wordlessly. This wasn't a feud. It was a symbolic funeral. The rebel who once defied the system now begged to be embraced by it. No press team, no clever spin, no tearful apology could erase what millions witnessed live. Gutfeld didn't throw shade. He seized the throne. He didn't chase shock value. He delivered truth. And in a world starving for authenticity, that hit harder than any headline. Stern drifted quietly into the shadows, a former firebrand turned image protector. Gutfeld, meanwhile, stood tall, loud, raw, and unshaken. Because in the end, the world doesn't remember those who whisper in fear. They remember the ones who shout the truth unapologetically. And that night, under those hot studio lights, it wasn't Stern who ruled the room. It was Gutfeld. Gutfeld, unafraid, unfiltered, and totally in command.